This Swarmer Inc. is a drone autonomy software company. They just went public today. The company's product has been deployed in Ukraine with more than 100,000 missions in combat environments. And look who's here. Erik Prince. He is Swarmer's non-executive chair and joins me here in New York. Welcome to the show.
Nice to see you, Stuart.
Congratulations on the IPA. Seems to be going quite well.
So far, so good.
Can you explain to me how you can organize just one pilot controlling 690 drones simultaneously?
70% of the casualties caused in the Ukraine battlefront are caused by drones. Ukraine needs hundreds of thousands of drones in the air. They don't have hundreds of thousands of pilots. So you get there by using a swarmer brain, which allows one pilot to control dozens or hundreds of drones to attack targets. The human sets the parameters and the targeting, and the drones figure it out by themselves on routing. If some of them get destroyed along the way, they actually collaborate, communicate with each other, and retask. I'm excited to be part of this.
They're all talking to each other?
It's through a mesh network, yes. So it is the way of warfare. If to ignore this now, the Department of War has been asleep for dozens of years and allowed a very cartel-like defense industry to sell massively overpriced stuff. I'm excited to be part of Swarmer because it is proven combat technology developed truly on the edge of battle. The time, Ukraine is in a fight for its life, and to go from idea to concept to prototype to battle testing is a matter of weeks or months, not years, and then testing on artificial ranges in America. So when you have your idea, it gets very quickly tested in battle against the very best that the Russians can put at it in terms of defenses or electronic warfare.
Can you give me an example of how it's used in battle in Ukraine?
Sure. It's used either for bomber, which is a heavy quad drone that will drop a mortar round similar, or an FPV drone where they will fly in coordination to attack a tank or an air defense system from multiple directions at the same time to overcome their ability to defend themselves.
Can they be jammed? I mean, can somebody on the ground jam the signal that they're all receiving?
Yes, of course, there's a high electronic warfare environment, but when they're communicating and they have automatic target recognition and they recognize the target they're going after, it's beyond the human in the back trying to control it. Doesn't matter if it's jammed at that point. It's game on, and the device is going to find its way to the target.
Is the American military picking up this technology, picking you up?
DOW is starting to do some innovation in terms of procurement. It's been very cartelized and horrible for decades, and they're now waking up. We're not waking up fast enough, seeing that you have a $20,000 drone taking out billion-dollar U.S. radar systems, and the best we have to shoot at that is a $2 million interceptor. There's two things a military commander does: coordinates information and releases energy. Move that ship here, fly that aircraft, put that warhead on a forehead. The cost of doing that in the West has gotten grotesquely high because we've allowed a defense cartel to way overprice everything. Ukraine had to drive the cost of delivering energy down to survive. And so with Swarmer, we're taking that tech, making it available to the American warfighter, to the West, and certainly have a war chest to take some of the other proven tech to deliver lethal precision at a very effective price.
Break the defense cartel. That's a new word for me, and I like it. Erik Prince, thank you very much indeed, and congratulations on your IPO. It went well.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.